Hello and welcome to Rust Locker, and in today's video the MX5 is getting some work done. Some of it by me and some of it by someone else. Yes, the day has finally come. I'm getting all that bubbly rust cut out of the rear arches of my car and I'm having new panels welded in by a professional. So tomorrow morning I've got to get up early. The car is already at the garage, but I've got the panels still down in my shed, so I've got to take those over to Neil. He's going to be welding in the new arches. There's some bits and pieces I need to do for the MOT, because technically my car is now currently not MOT'd, but seeing as it's at a garage, it's not exactly illegal. Anyway, so yeah, that needs to be done. I'm going to pick this video up in the morning down in my shed. I'll show you the panels, then we'll take them over to Neil's, leave it with him. He's going to work on that. When I get it back, then I'll do the bits and pieces for the MOT, go and get it MOT'd, and then we'll go from there. So I will pick this back up in the morning. Catch you in a sec. Right, so I'm down in my shed and this is where I'm storing the replacement panels for the rear arches on the MX5. They cost me a pretty penny. They essentially replaced the entire rear arch all the way down to the sill there. Let me put this on the floor so you can see a bit better. I've just got no room in my shed. Crap everywhere. So as you can see, got the entire rear arch, and this entire section will be cut out of the car. So this is where all the bubbly rust is on mine, and then it actually comes right into the door jamb there, and includes most of the lower sill part as well. So I've got these two replacement panels. I've got to take these up to the workshop where the guy is currently working on my car, and he's going to be welding in these next week for me. Right, so the car's back on my driveway now, so let me show you what has been done. So as you might have seen from the pictures, a whole new arch has been put in, brand new metal. A lot of the under arch, whatever this is called, wax oil is still wet. I don't know what's going on with that. All the rust has been taken out and been replaced with new metal, all welded in, nice and solid. Same on the backs there. This is all a new panel, so that is all brand new metal all the way up to about here, and the same on the other side. He also did a bit of work underneath and filled a hole at the front. So what I've got left to do is obviously fill in these slight imperfections, sand this back, primer it, and then spray this. Try and get it to a colour match to the rest of the panel. for the MOT I've also got to still fit some drop links. So what I might do is do that first, and that way the car's going to be up in the air and the back wheels are going to be off, which will make it easier for me to do the spraying and stuff anyway. So that's probably what I'm going to do first. So the next job is to get it up in the air, get these wheels off, and then we can get to doing the drop links. Right, so car's up in the air, and before anyone says anything, yes, I have used axle stands. I just like to keep the jack under it as well, just as extra precaution. So drop links, rear drop links are this little thing here. It's getting replaced by one of these nice new shiny ones. So as you can see, the issue is actually mainly going to be whether you can undo the bolts to disconnect the old one. A lot of the time you have to actually just grind these off, so let's see how we're going to go with that. But I think giving it a bit of a clean with a wire brush, and then we'll try the bolts, and if that doesn't work we're going to have to bring out the big guns. That has helped the 14 go on. No, that's just bolt is just rusted away. Okay, I think we're going to have to cut them off. That's one done. Right, so if you've got to grind off your drop links, the best way is to gradually grind down the bolt until you can see that ring there in the middle, and that is where the actual bolt comes through the nut. Once you can see the full circle and you're getting quite close to the metal, obviously you don't want to go too far and score into any of your wishbone or anything like that, but once you can see that metal ring, that's when you know you're getting somewhere, and you can probably pop it off with a hammer and a screwdriver. Like that. Right, well, after about half hour of grinding, I've got the old ones off, so now I've just got to fit the new one. Okay, so now that the drop links are done, I'm going to crack on doing some work on the rear arches. Right, so I'm just going along with a bit of filler, and I know it looks really bad. Just filling in some of the larger scratches and little imperfections, and then I'll go over this and sand it all smooth, and then filler again, and then paint hopefully. Yeah, so I'm no good at bodywork, and also doing spraying outside on the driveway with traffic driving past you every 2 seconds is not the best place to be doing nice paint jobs. As long as we're making the car as rust free as possible, then I'm not too bothered about how it looks really. I'll just save up some money and get a full respray from a professional at some point when I can afford it. Right, so what I've been doing is sanding down the primer and the filler, giving it some primer. I've also hit it up with some black paint that is a colour match for this car. But the thing is, I'm running out of time. I've got to get this to be MOT'd. It's already booked in, so I need to get this off and see what's up with that. So what I've done is I've just hit up some colour. I've put on some gloss. What's it called? Hit it up with some clear lacquer, and it doesn't look brilliant, I'll be honest, but all I need to do is just have it protected and kind of the same colour so I can get it to the MOT. We'll worry about the paintwork at another point. So let me show you how it is at the moment. It's been a couple of days because I've been leaving it to dry and to harden up, so let me show you what's going on. It's not the best, but it is at least rust free and all one colour. It's not too bad, it just looks a little bit matte because this needs to be T-cut and maybe even a little bit of colour sanding going on. The other side is not so good because I forgot that I had a tape line there, so I'm going to have to do quite a bit of colour sanding on this side. Also, you can see some imperfections still. These are where the welds were, which are actually standing a little bit proud. So without actually really sanding down the metal, I couldn't really get rid of those. So as I said, I don't really care. It's all black. It's good enough for now. So now I've got to take this to the MOT. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm back from the MOT and it failed. But although it has failed, it's not on anything too serious. It's all fixable stuff. So basically, what did he say? The handbrake needs adjusting. Now the problem with that is when I had the rear brakes done months ago now, Chris came and he had a little look. Basically the rear calipers are on their last legs. There wasn't much adjustment to be made. Everything's all rusted up, so it's going to be new rear calipers really. Second thing it failed on was one of the front calipers is binding, so it's going to be front calipers as well. That's not too big of an issue, it's just another few £100 that I've got to spend out. So what I've done is I've ordered 2 fronts, 2 rears, all new calipers to go round. I've still got some new discs and pads to go on the front anyway, so it's not the end of the world, but means I can't drive my car still for a little while. On the way back from the MOT, I noticed that my battery light was coming on. Now, seeing as this battery in this car is not that old, it's only less than 2 years old, might be the battery, but I'm worried that it might actually be the alternator, so that also might be an issue. That's not an MOT failure as such, but it's another £100 to spend. And then just to top it all off, I noticed a nasty noise coming from the gearbox area when I bring the clutch up. So when the clutch is up and it's in neutral, I can hear a bit of a grinding noise. When you put the clutch down, the grinding noise disappears. So that it needs some investigation on that. So other than the fact that the brakes are shot, the alternator is probably shot, and the gearbox or clutch is probably shot, the car's fine, nothing wrong with it. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here because it's been long enough anyway. The next video is going to be calipers, I think. Going to be fit the new calipers, get that done, at least then I can get it MOT'd. And once it's MOT'd, then I can drive it around and I can see what's going on with the alternator issue, if that's a problem. I don't know. Occasionally you hope that problems are just going to go away all by themselves. But that might be a bit of wishful thinking. Anyway, I'm going to catch you on the next one. If you're new, please consider subscribing, because this is one hell of a saga I'm going through, and it'll be good to keep up with it. and I will catch you on the next one.